We've had 259 sightings from here.
Wait. Where are we?
There's an underground lab, and that's where they're doing the hybrid experiments.
The government takes UFO phenomena very seriously.
This is one of the biggest cover-ups in history. People care more about Kim Kardashian's butt cheek.
Protect yourself, because there's a lot of negative energy there.
This is getting so creepy. Look at that.
That's crazy.
Anything like that, I've been doing for 30 years.
Are we on the brink of full disclosure about visitors from outer space?
In 1997, a CNN poll revealed that 80% of Americans believe that the U.S. government hides information about extraterrestrial life. More than 23 years later, the Pentagon's UFO unit came forward and declared it would standardize collection and reporting on sightings of unexplained aerial vehicles and would finally report at least some of its findings to the public. While this information has not been made public yet, the Pentagon did officially release videos of UFOs captured by U.S. naval pilots and verified the legitimacy of these videos. This groundbreaking statement from the US government seemed to fly completely under the radar in the news cycle, but my curiosity radar was peaking. So, in an effort to satisfy this curiosity, I decided to head into the middle of nowhere to meet up with a UFO field investigator named Rex to search for UFOs. I was skeptical that we would find anything at all, but what an adventure this turned out to be. Before the big UFO hunt, I'd need to do some research. So I had my research assistant help me put together a 20-page report on UFOs, and I quickly realized this topic was a lot more complex than I thought. Luckily, I used my subscription to Gaia, the world's largest streaming service for conscious media, to access several documentaries and interviews about the UFO topic that you really can't find anywhere else. If you're interested in learning more about UFOs and aliens, Gaia is definitely gonna be a go-to source for you. I added a link in the video description if you want to try Gaia for free. While the government has a long history of keeping the UFO topic under wraps, denying any scientific interest in UFOs, and even making a huge effort to discredit and cover up mass UFO sightings, thousands of declassified documents have been released over the years by way of the Freedom of Information Act, many of which reveal that the UFO and extraterrestrial topic has been of interest to the US government for decades. It was incredibly daunting to sift through so many hard to read and blacked out declassified documents, so I turned to former FBI Special Agent Jon D'Souza for more information.
My name is Jon D'Souza. I was a special agent in the FBI for 25 years.
How can you verify that?
On my wall, directly where I'm putting my finger, is my plaque, which contains my badge. My badge number was 10585. That's public information. When I was in the FBI, I was involved directly with several UFO cases and investigations. As far as which ones I can talk about, the ones that are publicly known, like Roswell, which continued to be a control file for many years. The government takes UFO phenomena very seriously. There's always implications of national security. And so because of that, we always have to look into it as a very serious thing. And if people want to see what I'm talking about, I always recommend that they go to vault.fbi.gov. That is the repository of all declassified cases. It's a tab that you can directly access that says unexplained phenomena. That opens up UFO cases, animal mutilation cases, and many other types of supernatural types occurrences. A lot of these UFO instances actually are American military drones. They're not extraterrestrial. Absolutely not. Extraterrestrial UFOs are also real.
And with a statement like that, I was eager to start hunting down some UFOs. So my videographer Jon and I flew to Denver, rented an RV, and hit the road to meet up with UFO investigator Rex Baer. Our first stop was the UFO Watchtower in Hooper, Colorado.
This place that we're going, the UFO Watchtower, is supposedly a hotspot. And the people who work there over the years have seen a lot of crazy shit, so we're gonna talk to them and we're gonna see what happens.
Got a lot of time on our hands, yeah. Don't have to rush a thing, don't you know? Easy, let it come with the sun hits ya.
We've been driving for 4 hours. It's 11 p.m. a.m. We're still not there yet. We're going into the middle of nowhere. Where the hell are we? What are we thinking, John? Oh my God, I'm freaking the f out. Literally, we're driving and John's phone made this weird sound. Make the sound. It went whee! And then 911 pops up and starts automatically calling 911. It dialed 911 at 11:09. 911 backwards. This is getting so creepy. Like, I'm actually freaked out.
Alright, we're here.
We're here. Wait. Where are we? Look. Come on in. We've entered into another world and shit just got so real on the drive over. I don't even want to get out of the RV. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty trippy.
I'm feeling trippy too.
We just landed from an airplane to an RV, from an RV to Alienville.
This isn't creepy or anything. Mom! Mommy!
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Hey, this is John.
Hey, John. How's it going?
He's going to be filming.
Lee Wilberger.
Nice
He's
to
somewhat
meet
of a
you.
legend.
And the famous Rex Bear Leaf
infamous.
Project. So do you have a YouTube channel too?
Inventor Lee Wilberger.
Oh, are you an inventor?
Yes. Things like this.
Yes.
What is
from the
that?
thermal imager.
This is a thermal imager.
How do we use that to look for UFOs?
This will see 1/10 of 1 degree thermal contrast difference. So if it has any temperature to it at all that's warmer than the deepness of space, it'll show up with this.
So there's a vortex not far from here, like a literal vortex where there's some type of like time lapse. This is where Stephen Greer has done the protocols and they've called down UFOs, and it's just down the street.
Unfortunately, Lee had to take off, but luckily we'd be seeing him and his $14,000 thermal imager again soon. In the meantime, Rex wanted to take us to the alleged vortex in Creston.
Rex, where are we going right now?
We are in Creston. This is kind of a hot spot area. There's dozens of temples and churches and religious sects out here. Multi-millionaires come out here for retreats and stuff. Basically, we're in an area where anything can happen. There's treasure out here.
What is that?
Okay, so this is one of the temples.
Oh, it's a Buddhist retreat center.
Yep, that's the cosmic clock right there. It's also what some people think is representation of the soul. The cosmic clock takes about 26,000 something years to go through all the different zodiacs, the constellations. It looks like that. So if you take the as above, so below, representing each other, and you take the cosmic will of death, like the cosmic will of the universe, and then you take the soul as a spark of the whole, it makes sense. I think we're aliens. This is my theory. I think that we are some type of either mixture of extraterrestrial and natural, or we are full on extraterrestrial. And let me tell you why. Look at all the plants, look at all the animals, all the insects. Do they need to wear clothes? Do they need to have a refrigerator? Do they need to have a car? No. Do we? Yes.
Call it, thousands of years, billions of years of evolution or whatever.
Devolution. It's devolution. We've devolved. That's another thing. We have not evolved. We have devolved.
After driving down this spooky dirt road for what felt like hours, my brain started throbbing from all of the mind-bending theories Rex had to share. So around 2 a.m., we decided to head back to the Watchtower to check things out.
All of these items have been left by travelers who have come here and have left like a little relic.
Those are bones.
What kind of bones?
Roadkill. Looks like fried deer or something.
Rex decided it was the perfect time to try and channel UFOs, and I completely agreed. I was ready for action.
So really, I'm gonna focus, and I've never done this, but I'm gonna do the protocols where I'm gonna like send out brain waves and see if we can pick some up. You do the same thing.
Okay.
And then focus on bringing it back. Like there's a string that's attached to a UFO, and we're pulling, or it's
But
like a cosmic...
only a good energy UFO.
I mean, I don't know. If it's a
Rex!
scary energy, I'm okay
Rex!
with a couple reptilians.
We're not getting abducted tonight.
Okay, no abductions.
So what are you supposed to do? Just think aliens come hither.
Yeah. pretty much.
After trying to channel the aliens with our brainwaves for a few minutes, it didn't seem to work. Since it was after 3 a.m. at that point, we decided to call it a night. Although nothing too exciting happened at the Watchtower, I was eager to speak with the owner Judy the following day and hear her stories from over the years.
I'm Judy Mesa, owner of the UFO Watchtower, which is located near Hooper, Colorado in the San Luis Valley. Y'all come on down now, you hear? I came here because the land was cheap and I wanted to raise cows and horses. I learned about the valley after moving here and meeting the locals. They've had documented sightings since the 1500s. The conquistadors wrote in their journals what they had seen. I moved here in '95 and put this up in 1999, opened it in 2000. So it's been going for 20 years. We've had 259 sightings from here. That's a lot.
How many sightings have you had personally?
29.
What was the first sighting you ever experienced? When was that?
That was in 2000, shortly after we opened. That one made a believer out of me. But it was between here in the mountains, part way down. I called it cigar-shaped, narrow, really long, and went zip like that. 11 o'clock at night, we had over a dozen people here. Everybody saw it.
And that was right over here?
Just straight across, yeah.
So you had a dozen people all seeing the same thing?
Uh-huh. And that makes it nice, because then you know that you're not hallucinating, you know?
Yeah.
People come here who have had sightings and want to talk about them and don't want to be made fun of. We get that a lot, and they'll come in here and just tell us everything that happened. And so many times people are quick to say, what were you drinking? What were you smoking? You know, and that's not right. If they had an experience, they should be able to express themselves. There have been times when folks have come in and started ridiculing stuff, you know, and I have learned just let it go. It don't mean anything. You can believe what you want to believe, and I can believe what I want to believe, and there's no need to argue or discuss it. That's the way I feel.
It should be okay to discuss it and not argue.
That's it. You're right. You gotta have the love and the compassion, you know, which, gosh, in this day and age, we're not getting much of that.
Everyone hear that? Love and compassion thing? Simple. It's simple.
It is simple.
So let's bring it on into the world, right?
Yep, you can open your heart and let it in.
Yes.
As much as I wanted to hang out with sweet Judy all day, it was time to get back on the road to meet Rex at our next location, the Archuleta Mesa in Dulce, New Mexico.
There's the mesa right there where all the towers are. But underneath that mesa, that's where the base is supposed to reside.
Underneath the Archuleta Mesa on the Colorado-New Mexico border, there is said to be an alleged underground military facility for joint human and alien research.
Rumor has it, this hasn't been confirmed, that is supposed to be the entrance to a elevator shaft that goes directly to the base, which is underneath the mesa, and there's at least 6 levels underneath the mesa.
That shed.
Right there. If you get too close to that shed, you'll probably have helicopters flying over you and armed guards coming out. I've heard of people getting close to that and then getting swarmed by black SUVs that are full tinted windows, like brand new. Oh yeah.
So are we driving over there now?
Yeah.
Underground secret bases are a reality. They're sometimes called DUMBs, deep underground military bases, like for instance Area 51. Some of them do have alien tech research going on.
Although there is no physical evidence that this base exists, horrifying stories of the Dulce base continue to circulate. Most notably, there was a man named Phil Schneider, an explosives engineer who claimed to be working on the base in 1979 when he found himself and other government workers in a firefight with large gray aliens. He claimed to be one of 3 survivors of the alien-human battle and even had the scars to prove it. Then there were the strange cattle mutilations occurring occurring at the local farms, where cattle were being sliced open with laser-like precision. Cattle mutilations such as this have been linked to theories of extraterrestrial activity for years. The Dulce papers were leaked in the 1980s and outlined the 7 levels of the facility and the secret experimentation happening on human and alien subjects. Thomas Costello is another government employee who claimed to work at the Dulce base and confirmed this information. This photo circulating around UFO conspiracy sites was allegedly leaked by Costello, who then went missing. However, debunkers have pointed out that the photo is a spitting image of this scene from the 2000 sci-fi action film The Sixth Day starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Some believe that Thomas Costello is not even a real person. And it's stuff like this that made getting to the truth about this UFO thing very difficult. The more I researched, the more fact and fiction started blurring together. Although the legend of the Dulce base remains a mystery, locals have reported UFO sightings near the mesa for years, and the base continues to be a source of eerie stories.
Maybe or maybe not been up there.
What happened if you were there?
If we were there, we just had an opportunity to see a lot of interesting antennas, but it was nothing spectacular.
So you were in the military?
I've been a contractor for the military for 30 years. For the military and the government for 30 years.
Doing what?
I was the senior technical staff for CCOM, Communications and Electronics Command for the U.S. Army. So, I designed the Trojan Spirit, the TSE-128 Bravo, also the WIN and the WIN-T. So that's the Warfighter Information Network Tactical. There are lots of underground facilities across the United States. I've been in a good number of them.
What do you think is going on here?
I can't say. I think that there's something going on here for sure because of the equipment that we see.
So after checking out this,
yeah,
you're seeing some not normal telecommunications devices.
Yes, there's something going on here that is outside of the norm because some of the gear is not the norm. And that's what your government looks like. Turn around, get that.
That was a government
car?
How do you know?
The type of vehicle and the types of antennas. They will patrol regularly up and down all of these roads.
Right.
They wouldn't be here if there wasn't something here.
So being a contractor for the government, have you had to sign NDAs and all that kind
Every job I get.
And so you can't really tell me a lot of what you know.
Nope.
But you know more than
You wouldn't believe.
So you're telling
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
When the night fell, it was time to whip out Lee's thermal imager and start looking for suspicious activity over the mesa.
That's insane.
What is it?
There's something in the cloud now on the right-hand side of it. So there was 2 hot spots in this cloud that are like way hotter than everything else. And then on the right-hand side of it, there came this really, really bright spot. And then it kind of like made a cloud off of it. Yeah, Can you still see it?
Oh, yeah.
When you see the heat, what does that even signify? Like, what does it mean?
The black is the darkness of space, the coldness of space. Since it's not putting off any thermal energy, that shows up black in the detector. Anything that's putting off heat shows it starts as gray and then goes to bright white. To be really, really bright white, it's got to be pretty warm.
There's something right there. There's something right there.
Right.
No, there's something lower than that. There's something. Could the lights in the clouds be the stars?
Dude, they're seeing shit. Whatever it was, I literally have no idea.
Look how bright that is compared to everything else. There's nothing in the sky that looks anything like that.
And it's not supposed to be like that, is it?
It's not normally that bright.
That's the only place that has the reflection in the clouds or the light source in the clouds.
Correct. The really white hot spots in there. That's not normal in a cloud. You don't normally have super hot heated spots in a cloud. But you don't see those glowing hot spots like that. That's a source of heat. If we were earlier in the evening, that the sun's still striking them and they're getting heat off of that. But that's not the case here.
After asking Lee question after question about thermal imaging and what exactly we were seeing, I started to get the hang of it.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Look at that.
That's crazy.
Whoa.
That was wild. I've never seen anything like that before.
As someone who had never investigated UFOs and was not familiar with thermal imaging or any of this type of science, I didn't really know what to make of what we were seeing. But Rex and Lee seemed to believe we had come across some real anomalies. So what we saw tonight, you think it's clearly because we're here at the hotspot, like you wouldn't see that in a normal setting.
I've been looking through thermal imagers for 30 years, and that's the first time I've ever seen a cloud do what that did.
Although we weren't entirely sure what was going on above the mesa, it was reassuring to know that we hadn't driven into the middle of nowhere to see nothing. Seeing my first potential UFO at an alleged underground alien base was a real thrill, and although I still have many questions about the UFO phenomena, this experience definitely opened my eyes to what's possible. I want to give a huge thank you to Rex and Lee for letting me join them on their investigation, and for teaching me so much about all this stuff. And again, if you're looking for more documentaries, interviews, and series about the UFO and extraterrestrial topic, definitely check out Gaia. I've added a link in the video description where you can access a free trial. After this experience, I have more questions than answers, but that's sort of the way life goes. And if I really wanted to understand a topic as complex as UFOs, I'd probably have to spend years investigating it. But with our teeny tiny little Earth amongst billions of stars and planets in such a vast universe, it's not far-fetched to believe that something else must be out there.